The Auric podcast is best experienced when listening with headphones or earbuds. Thank you, and enjoy.
We're on in 5, 4, 3, 2...
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the much-anticipated revival of The Jane Romero Show. Thank you. Muchas gracias, todos. You're all so kind. It was so touching reading all of the letters I got after my disappearance. I am so humbled to know that all of you cared for me and missed me that much.
We love you, Jane!
I love you. And I'm sorry I got swept up into the entity's realm, but I'm back now. The spider jerk is dead. And to celebrate its death, the Jane Romero Show will be focusing on those who have made it out of its terrible game of life and death. Those who have suffered through brutality and heartache. Those incredibly, incredibly strong souls. Of course, I am talking about none other than the survivors. But before we launch into this discussion and see how everyone is doing, I would like to introduce our new co-host. Now, I know you all really loved Zarina. Believe me, I did too. She's like a sister to me. But just as the saying goes, if you love something, you have to let it go. Zarina had to follow her hunches and do some investigating on her own. Why she chose to go and talk to the killers, I have no idea, but hopefully she is safe. I have not heard from her since she left the show, but Zarina is a very strong, beautiful, and capable woman. I am sure she is fine. Regardless, we have a new co-host to fill her place, at least for the time being. Will everyone please welcome Dwight Fairfield?
Hi, guys. Okay, nice weather we've been having, right?
So, anyway, last week we got the celebrity gossip on Nancy and Steve's new polygamous relationship with Jonathan Byers.
Aww. And then we learned why. Despite getting a small loan of $1 million, Ace's casino chain has filed for bankruptcy. Again.
But today we have an eclectic group of friends to survey, starting with one of the biggest streamers on Twitch right now. The internet knows her as Lithe_gamer, but we survivors know her as Fang Me. Quentin, hit the music cue.
Oh, sorry. You got it, Jane.
Thanks, Quentin. Anyway, welcome to the show, Fang. Glad to have ya. You're a really popular lady, I hear.
Yeah, I watch your Twitch streams sometimes and donate.
Oh, right. Are you one of the ones that are horny on main constantly in the chat? Because if so, you can stop donating those $100 donations. I'm not showing my feet on camera.
What? No, I'm the one who gives you the $5 donations sometimes. They usually say something like, "Hey, this is Dwight, from the entity's realm. Can you maybe respond to my text? I want to start a Survivor group chat. Thanks."
Yeah, no, I don't think I've gotten any donations like that.
I'm pretty sure you have. You just you don't read them.
Wait, Dwight, why are you trying to make a Survivor group chat? We already have a...
Shh! Jane, no. Dwight and Ace don't get an invite.
You know I can hear you, right?
Why don't we talk more about you, Fang? What is it like being such a large streamer?
It's pretty good. Except my main audience are incels who want to fulfill some sort of Asian gamer girl fantasy by watching me all day. They also call me garbage if I make the smallest mistake in game, which I find dumb because I know I could clap all of their cheeks in a 1v1. It's like, sheesh, dude. Go outside and touch some grass instead of just throbbing cock.
That sounds like a really toxic community. What video game do you play?
Dead by Daylight.
Oh, me too. We could always play together sometime if you...
Can you loop the killer? Can you hit the skill check when DS activates?
Well,
Do you even know what a CJ tech is?
I mean, I'm working on...
Then no, absolutely not. Sorry, not sorry.
I'm sorry, but people still play Dead by Daylight? I always found it weird and offensive that someone would make a game based on our lives in the fog.
Yeah, actually. There's a growing community for it, despite the fact that the devs don't know how to balance for shit. Not to mention all the bugs, the massive amounts of grinding you need to get to anything.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I mean, I couldn't even play it for a long time.
Well, yeah, everyone knows Dwights are total noobs.
Wait, that's not what I...
They spend way too much time in lockers. They don't know how to chain loop.
Okay, come on, wait,
Just
what?
overall, completely useless piss babies. The worst survivor by far.
I couldn't play the game because I'm partially colorblind. And they didn't even consider adding colorblind settings until the community made a stink about it.
Wow, really? That seems like poor development.
As terrible as he is, he's not wrong. It feels like they only fix things when they feel like it.
Hey, I think they're doing a pretty good job so far.
This game sounds rough. How do you play it for hours on end?
Fuck if I know.
Language, please. Family show, everyone.
I really don't know though. The game is terrible, but it's great. And it's so horribly awful, but also so incredibly addicting. Honestly, maybe it's just fun because I'm a survive with friends red rank who can loop the killer until they DC.
That sounds toxic.
Toxic? And there's nothing toxic about me running DS Unbreakable Sprint Burst Adrenaline. There's nothing toxic about clicking a flashlight, body blocking the hook, and teabagging at the hatch because I brought a key and a map offering. There's nothing toxic about pointing at every pallet and exit gate and then sending the killer hate mail after every game because they're all tunneling, base camping pieces of shit.
I don't play the game, but something about that feels toxic.
It's not! The killer player base are the toxic ones here. They run Ruin, Undying, Corrupt, Noed. They camp the hatch so I can't leave for free. They even hit me on the hook and kill me sometimes.
Isn't that their job?
And they make the game unfun just by playing it. They should all uninstall.
Look, I get what you're saying there, Fang, but don't you need killers to make Dead by Daylight work? You know, won't bullying all of them off the game kind of make the game die?
It hasn't yet, so I'm just gonna keep doing it. Fuck killer main.
Language, please.
If they don't like how the game is, they can play something else. Go play another popular asymmetrical horror game.
Like what, Fang? Name one.
Friday the 13th.
Name one people actually play, Fang.
Ugh, whatever. Shut it, Dwight. What, are you some filthy killer main?
Well, I wouldn't put it that way, but mostly, yeah, actually. What? I mean, guys, it's fun sometimes, okay? To have the power for once, you know? Just after being hunted and sacrificed and, well, bullied for such a long time. It's a harmless power fantasy. And I'm actually pretty good at it too. I'm a red rank. I mean, I was a survivor for so long. Like, why would I ever want to relive that?
Dwight, the killers hunted us down for what feels like a century. And now you're playing as one? Like it's some kind of game?
That's not very PogChamp of you.
What are you talking? Fang plays the game to cope with her trauma too.
But I don't have power fantasies about being an oppressor.
Oh, come on. They're not like all monsters, you know?
Your opinion is different from mine, and that makes you a bad person.
Dwight, they're killers. They have killed us all multiple times. How can you not view them all as monsters?
Because they're not. Not all. They can change, you know. I've been listening to a lot of the Auric podcast. And
We do not speak of that show here.
But Evan and Philip.
The Trapper and the Wraith and whatever vile psychopaths they have on that show can stay on that show. On my show, we don't speak of them. We don't associate with them. This is a show for survivors of the entity. Period.
Aren't they survivors too?
If they were, they'd be more detrimental than having a Meg on your team. Are we done here, Jane? I'm letting Scott Jund onto my stream so I can loop his ass for 30 minutes straight.
Wait, wow. You know Scott?
Yeah, it's an added benefit of not being an insufferable little loser all the time.
I gave you like $15, man.
Fang, thank you for your time. I wish you the best in your gaming career, I guess. Coming up next, we'll check in with the Sherlock and Watson of our motley crew of survivors. That's right. It's ELODIE RAKOTO and FELIX RICHTER. The Jane Romero Show will be right back after these commercial messages. Can I get a touch-up, please? I think I had a hair out of place that entire time. No, I know the majority of our audience is just listening, but this isn't some audio drama. I want to look spotless. Thank you.
Jane, I know Zarina. I know that, but I've been a big fan of your show for a long time, so...
Spit it out, Fairfield. We're on in a few.
I guess what I wanted to know was, am I doing a good job as your co-host?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, phew. Oh, good. Because I was starting to think that no one likes me.
Not. Definitely not. You must let me finish, Fairfield. Christ.
Oh. What am I doing wrong?
Word of advice?
Sure.
If you want to make it, you gotta learn how to adapt. Suck it up a bit, okay?
What do you mean?
No one wants to hear your opinion on how much you like to play killer. It's not cute, it's scary. People don't listen to the Jane Romero Show to get deep into philosophy.
Yeah, no, I get that. I understand completely. It's just, well, I don't know. It seemed kind of empowering to stand up for myself against Fang like that. Now that I'm not in the entity's realm, I don't have to be everyone's punching bag anymore. I was just hoping I could, I don't know, be seen or something stupid like that.
That is a bit stupid, Dwight. Most of our audience is just listening anyway. Look, just be a good little co-host and support me, okay? No need to be so pushy.
But Zarina kept pushing, and she never hid from the truth,
And no one's heard from her in months. For all we know, she's back at the campfire.
Jane, I thought you cared about her.
I do, Dwight. And I care about you too, which is why you really, really need to drop it. Okay?
But
Jane, we're back on, and in 5, 4, 3.
Quentin!
5. Fuck it. Now.
Welcome back to the Jane Romero Show, everyone. Let's continue our discussion with the survivors by welcoming your favorite mystery-solving duo.
It's ELODIE, Ricardo, and FELIX RICHTER.
Bonjour, Jane Romero Show.
Hello, all.
Now, let's kick off this discussion with the thing everyone has been wondering about.
Yes, Felix and I have been working together on this tirelessly ever since the entity's collapse.
We have seen some crazy stuff.
But we finally believe we have uncovered the secrets of the Black Veil's ancient cult. The reason behind the existential dread we face as survivors. The hidden truths of the entity.
Are you two dating?
What?
No.
Oh, come on. It's so obvious. We leave the entity's realm and then you two start working closely together to uncover the mystery behind an ancient cult? You have to be secretly a couple.
Jane, I have a child and a wife.
Oh. So you two are married?
This is ridiculous. Romero, we came on your show because we've discovered a deep conspiracy about the entity. Not the gossip like schoolgirls.
Okay. ELODIE Richter. Isn't this fun, folks?
Jane, this is serious. Serena is probably dead.
She, what?
Oh, God.
She and I, we grew even closer after leaving the entity's realm. She joined Felix and I on our search for the truth, but instead of going further into the occult, she wanted to seek out the killers. She interviewed them one by one, sending us any information she could on them. She was an invaluable asset in our search, a perfect complement to my skill set and Felix's. She was my partner.
And mine too. But I never kissed her.
Not now, Felix.
Right. Sorry.
What happened to her?
She sent us the files of all of her interviews. Every killer except for 3.
Who were they?
Evan Macmillan, Philip Jomo, and Danny Johnson.
We know that the Ghostface had always worked very closely to the entity. He knows something we do not about the entity's disappearance, and he has tried several times to stop us from reaching the truth. We believe he may have intercepted Serena and... Désolé, Jean. I know you two used to be close.
I told her to be complacent, to just co-host the show with me and live a peaceful life. We could have been so happy. Damn it. Have we not suffered enough?
Would now be a bad time to introduce our second revelation about the entity?
Wait, what revelation? The entity is dead. Yeah, that's why we're all here. There shouldn't be more to it than that, right?
There is evidence to the contrary.
Oui. It is our belief that the entity never actually died.
What?
But that's impossible.
None of the circumstances here make sense. If the entity was truly dead, wouldn't we die with it since our souls are so connected to its realm? It makes no sense that we'd just be dropped back into our lives on Earth a few years later as if nothing happened.
And look at the killers. They are back to normal, completely. Despite a lot of them being near dead when they were taken into the entity's realm. Rin, Kazan, Amanda. None of that adds up. They should all be dead.
Look, I don't think a lot of us really know. I mean, maybe they got healed before exiting. You know, entity healthcare and all that, right?
ELODIE, that is a very dark and twisted conspiracy theory, but
It's not just a theory. Consider this as well. You are familiar with the Auric podcast, correct?
Yes, of course. I love those guys. You know, I've actually watched Trapper's Twitch streams too. He's actually helped me get a lot better at the game. I can predict survivor movements and track them easier and all of that. And
Fairfield? Not the point right now, buddy.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry.
I don't listen to the Auric cell. I don't associate with killers. I don't care what they do. They took Serena. They can rot in the void for all I care.
Jane, as much as I cautioned Zarina against it, I knew that someone would have to start to mend the gap between our two groups. The killers and survivors. She knew the danger, and yet she did it anyway. And without her, we wouldn't be nearly as close to the truth as we are now. You don't have to blame yourself for...
She died for your conspiracy, Elodie. Yours.
Have you thought about why the killers can even understand each other when they go on this podcast?
Huh?
Through Zarina's investigations and interviews, we found that Charlotte and Victor can only speak French. The Huntress only knows Russian, and even I don't know what language the plague speaks. So how in the world is everyone just miraculously fluent in English? It just doesn't make sense.
You are looking too hard into this, Elodie. Just like Zarina. The mechanics of our re-entry into this world are inconsequential. The important part is that we are out of that twisted game. I mean, come on! It's Dead by Daylight. Who really thinks this much about the lore?
We do, because it matters.
Well, maybe it was all just the entity's magic or something. Wouldn't that explain all the really weird and random stuff that's happened so far?
Exactement. It is the entity's magic.
Oh, really? Huh. I was kind of just speaking out of my ass there, but fuck yeah, dude.
Language, Dwight.
Oh, come on!
But how would the entity's magic still be affecting us if the entity were not still alive?
We know that the entity feeds on strong emotions like hope and despair. By giving us this illusion of normality, it hopes to fill us with hope, only for us to return to despair once the rug is pulled from under us. Don't you see? This whole time, the entity has just been growing our emotions to reap a satisfying harvest.
The truth is we haven't left the entity's realm. The Jane Romero show, the Auric Cell podcast, it's all another trial.
Everyone, please calm down. Do not let their propaganda scare you.
Jane, there is no audience. Listen closely. Those aren't cheers. They're flames.
We're back at the campfire.
No, wait. We never even left.
So, what do we do now?
You run.
Somebody help! Elodie! Felix! Jane!
Nope. Here's Danny.
You're gonna hook me again, aren't you? Come on, man. Just make it quick, please. No.
I think they're all gone. Man, they ditched you pretty quickly, didn't they, Mr. Fairfield?
Yeah, I guess. I think they all still sprint burst. But more importantly, why have you not stabbed me yet? Not saying I want you to. I don't. But.
Shh. Take a seat, Mr. Fairfield. No, really. Take a seat. Right here, next to me. Come on, Mr. Fairfield. I stab, but I don't bite. There you go. Thank you. Ah, there we go. A little more comfortable now, aren't we?
Whoa, holy shit, dude! That's what you look like without your mask on?
Mm-hmm. What were you expecting?
Not that. Wow.
That's the thing I appreciate most about us killers, Mr. Fairfield. Underneath all the glitz and glam the entity gives us, we really just don't look like what you would expect for the most part. We hide in plain sight. A lot of us are average Joes, average Jeds. Just like you, Dwight. Just like you.
Thank you. Is this one of those villain monologues where I get shagged at the end of it, or...
Doesn't have to be, Mr. Fairfield. Look, I may not have been with the entity as long as some of these old-timers, but the entity likes me quite a lot. Mainly because out of everyone here, I give into the darkness the most, and I get rewarded for it quite handsomely. Over the past 3 or 4 months, the entity's given me a lot of free reign when it comes to fucking with the killers and making them realize they'd be better off killing than trying to be do-gooders. And entity magic is pretty sweet shit, Fairfield. Overall, I'd say doing this is better than any part-time job you could think of.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
And part of my job, Mr. Fairfield, is to help the entity find people who have the capability of doing great things. People who have been wronged in some way and just need a teeny bit of free space to let out all that pent-up anger, to let that darkness in them flourish.
Wait, you don't seriously mean...
Here, take this. I want you to have it, free of charge.
Danny, this is your knife.
Yep. Fun fact, that was the first one I ever used. Or at least, an exact replica of it, produced by the fog. Are you familiar with Shakespeare, Mr. Fairfield? Ah, forget it. That's not important. What's important is that now you're holding it. Feels good, right? To have a little power? To have a little weapon to stand up for yourself? Yeah, I can see it on your face. That feeling, I know that feeling quite well. That feeling that people have to respect you now. Well, Dwight, I must be off. If I'm not careful, I'll be late for my interview. But I'll leave you with this. You can keep getting chased. You can keep getting hooked. You can spend the rest of your life in the entity's realm being a laughingstock, a pushover, a Dwight. Or you can feel what it's like to finally be seen. You know, I'm a big fan of killer names. The Trapper is simple yet insidious. The Wraith is a metaphor with layers upon layers. And the Ghostface carries such a legacy with it. I think the Leader has a nice ring to it, don't you? I'll see you in the fog.
Thank you for listening to episode 9 of 10 of the Auric podcast. This episode was written, directed, and produced by Solomon Troop. The role of Quentin was played by Sleepy Boi. The role of Jane was played by Bri Price. The role of Dwight was played by Lorenzo Onrubia. The role of Fang was played by Astrid Wong Searby. The role of Yoon Jin was played by Solomon Troop. The role of ELODIE was played by Echo Sapa. The role of FELIX was played by ASH ALCHEMIST. And the role of GHOSTFACE was played by Jacob Lentini. Please check the description of this video for proper credit for the music. New episodes of the Auric release every other Thursday at 6 p.m. EST, but there are also animatics, lore readings, behind the scenes, and other awesome content between uploads of the main story. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel to not miss out on any new releases. In addition to posting to YouTube, the Auric podcast can also be streamed on Spotify, SoundCloud, Anchor, and probably some other places too, so check the description. Really, phone? Anyway, check the description and share it with your friends. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Tumblr for updates, as well as joining our Discord server, the Trooperverse, to talk to cast, crew, and anyone who enjoys what we do here. Links below in the description. Dead by Daylight. You already know this spiel, I'm not going to say it this time. Fuck it, who cares? But you know who does care? Our Kickstarter backers. Let's thank them today, shall we? Starting with Jonathan Troop, Ariza Luca, Nikki Aarons, James G. Nico, Eli, Elias, Kendrick, Kim, Blueface, HP Laptop, Marble Slab King, Destiny Lore, Life is Strange, and What About It, Peanut Head, 17 in a Math Class, Henderson III, Mike Flink, Shelby Richards, George Regent, Ricochet, Jared A.K. Derpman, Cassandra Rodenbaugh, Hunter A.K. Mudskips, Jacob Lentini, Brooke Wilmont, and Pixelbush A.K.A. Will A.K. The Lore Guy. Thank you again for listening. Share this project with a friend so the algorithm will boost us. And as always, we'll see you in the last episode of the Auric podcast next time. And also in The Fog. That was a lot more smooth in my head.